So good evening, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to those here and connecting online. Let's settle into our winter's evening with some warming meditation. So having established our comfortable sitting position, aligning our body with some degree of symmetry, balance, poise, helping to enable an inner mindful presence. Our eyes gently closed, helping to bring awareness within, having our initial deep, relaxing, letting go breath, using that outgoing breath to carry away any stress tension from our body, and also letting go of issues, worries, concerns, roles and responsibilities, giving our brain, mind a break from being caught up in thoughts about what has been, thoughts about what might be. Just using our mind to tune into the present moment, this place and point of existence, the present. Meditation is practicing being present, enabling a calm, conscious, receptive, attentive, here, now, knowing. And in many ways, coming to our senses, both literally and metaphorically. But before bringing awareness to the sense of touch through the breath, just relaxing our awareness down into our body, helping to ground ourselves. So feeling into our body with awareness, connecting into the present moment through our body sensory experience. Feeling grounded, settled, centered, present. And just checking in on our basic sense data, our sensory experience, 5 physical senses and the 6th sense, the mental sense of any thoughts that might be occurring. Beginning with the sense of touch, noticing some touch points, feeling our feet touching the floor, contact sensation, feet connecting with the floor. And bringing our awareness up to sense and feel the touch of our body, connecting with the chair, the cushion, or meditation stool. Mindfully sensing, feeling, noticing touch of our body against the chair, cushion, or stool. Bringing awareness to our hands and fingers resting in our lap, making sure they feel comfortable, adjusting them if we need to, and feeling the contact sensation of hands and fingers, maybe one hand resting in the other, or against the fabric of our clothes. So sensing that particular touch, that particular sensation, hands and fingers. And then bringing our awareness up further to our face, noticing our face, maybe feeling the air connecting with our face. More of that subtle sensation, the air against our face. Then from the sense of touch, moving awareness to the sense of sight and seeing as we perceive some degree of light coming in through our closed eyelids. Some lightness, brightness, color, patterning, or just a blankness. Simply seeing. Seeing without thinking. Then from the sense of sight and seeing, bringing awareness to the sense of sounds and hearing. Noticing background sounds, a few sounds from in this room. Sounds from outside the room. The soundscape of life just here, just now. Even hearing the silence in between certain sounds. The underlying silence that all sounds occur within. Simply listening. And noticing the last two physical senses, sense of smell and taste. Noticing any aroma, fragrance, scent in the room. Any residue, taste, flavors in the mouth. Simply noticing. And then also noticing the sixth sense, the mental sense of any thoughts occurring in the mind, where all thoughts occur merely as a mental image that we see, or a mental sound, voice that we hear. Developing this ability to notice a thought without getting caught up into it, personalizing, taking the thought further, just noticing a thought as a thought, mental sight, mental sound, developing this calm, objective, receptive, attentive knowing to the flowing of experience through these six senses in the present, without the mind getting caught into mental comment, commentary, critique, concern, complaint. Just calm, conscious knowing, neutral knowing, equanimous knowing. Simply sitting, being, breathing, knowing now. And particularly taking up the breath, the sense of touch with the breath as our primary reference point and focus. Feeling the inflow, outflow sensation of each soothing, therapeutic breath at our nose nostril area. Letting our body find its own natural rhythm and process of breathing. There may be a few other subtle sensations that we notice. The sight of light coming in through the closed eyelids, a few background sounds, maybe the hint of a few thoughts that come and go, but primarily noticing, feeling each breath, making each breath special through giving attention, caring attention to each life-giving breath. Sitting, being, breathing, knowing. Letting the mind settle into deep inner calm. Deep calm, clarity, peace, and presence. Please help yourself to some biscuits if you wish. Bit of wind and rain out there now.
Coming from that side.
The ocean.
What's that? The ocean on that side.
So we're 150 meters above sea level here. So it sort of comes in off the ocean, blows up through that valley. Anton, are you getting wet there? No. No? No. Okay. If it does start to come in, just let me close the louvers up the top. Yeah. We're at the downpipe for the gutters broken apart. If anyone wants to bring their shoes in, they're probably going to get a bit wet. Can I get you to maybe close that window, please? Thanks. So why are we here? Why are we here tonight out on a cold, winter's rainy, windy night? There's many reasons why we might be here. But one reason goes back to the pain, the angst, the unease of a young man 2,600 years ago. A young man that saw aging, how it affected people, saw illness, saw death and dying, saw pain and suffering, and felt overwhelmed, but also felt inspired to find a way for people to not be caught into the stress and suffering of life, of existence. So compelled and motivated was he that he decided to leave his home life, and to seek the way out of stress and suffering. A pilgrimage of the heart, a journey that, whilst he went out from his home, was more of a journey within, an inward journey, a journey of the heart, a pilgrimage of the heart, because he felt that the answers to the questions that he had were to be found within. So a spiritual journey. And in many ways, whilst he did practice various yogic and aesthetic practices, very much the importance of going within through meditation. So he left his home life at 29, and after 6 years of spiritual practice, realized that the way to have the mind liberated from being caught up in this process of aging, illness and death, stress and suffering, was not being caught in extremes of indulging in self-mortification, not indulging in the extremes of self-pleasure, but a middle path, a middle way, and a middle way that involved cultivating the quality and clarity of the mind through meditation, living in a wholesome, healthy, moral way, so virtuous conduct, and realizing deep, profound wisdom, insight, to see through the mind being caught up and acting out from desire, aversion, and delusion. So at the age of 35, through his own efforts, having practiced with various well-known teachers at the time, and finding that their teachings didn't fulfill. So through his own efforts, he was able to realize deep, profound, ultimate wisdom and liberation, enlightenment, while sitting under the Bodhi tree, the tree of enlightenment. And from that time on, he was then termed one who had realized full, complete spiritual enlightenment, a Buddha. His otherwise name was Siddhartha Gautama. And he then, having found this complete liberation, freedom, enlightenment, realizing nirvana, spent the next 45 years teaching others how to live, how to lead their life, and how to also realize that full, complete spiritual freedom. And whilst there was still the process of aging, illness, and death, those that realized that freedom, their mind wasn't caught into clinging or holding on or being identified with the activity and process of aging, illness, and death. the reason I mentioned it this evening is because I wanted to speak about the retreat period that the Buddha set up for people to engage upon. And so that this year, which is Christian era, 2026, in the Buddhist era, it's 2,569, which is 2,569 years since the Buddha passed away, died. Given that he taught for 45 years and established a retreat at the beginning of those 45 years. So this retreat that he established and taught people to engage upon has now been going for 2,614 years. So 2,614 years, which I would say is probably one of the longest ongoing yearly retreats, ongoing since the Buddha established it all those years ago, 2,614 years ago. And he made this period of time, which is from the retreat period, which is from the full moon of July to the full moon of October, a specific period for monastics, spiritual practitioners to devote and dedicate and direct their time, energy more exclusively to the practice, to the development, to the defining, refining, and deepening of meditation practice. So a 3-month period. It's called a Vassa retreat. Vassa is that period of time, the rainy season, the monsoon season, which in Southeast Asia is a 3-month period. Obviously, for us, it's winter into spring, but in Asia, it's the rainy season. It's rainy here as well. But a designated time, again, from the full moon of July to the full moon of October, where people would, monastics particularly, would determine to stay in one place, usually a monastery or a particular retreat environment. Sometimes it may be a house, and stay there for 3 months. And as opposed to going off elsewhere, wandering, walking around, visiting different things. So a designated place to stay and be and focus on developing meditation and spiritual practices, spiritual virtues. And so again, it's really, really sort of wonderful that this retreat period has been established and has been going on for this length of time. It's a part of the history of humanity. That, wow, there's not many things that last that long without being changed or compromised or modified in some sort of way. But this is like a tradition that has gone on right since the time the Buddha realized enlightenment and taught, and had people have this designated period of time. Particularly observed in the Theravada Buddhist tradition, which is the oldest school of Buddhism. The other schools, Mahayana Buddhism, it's a manifestation as Zen Buddhism, and also Vajrayana or Tibetan Buddhism. Some of the monastics, monks and nuns in those schools do practice or observe the Vassa retreat, others to a lesser extent, but certainly in Theravada Buddhism, which is found in countries like originally in India, where the Buddha lived and practiced and taught from, into Sri Lanka, into Burma, Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, and now Buddhist monasteries, Theravada Buddhist monasteries throughout the world. And so during this time, monks and nuns will observe certain practices beyond the observant precepts which they undertake as a Buddhist monk, but or nun, but extra things as well to encourage and help them sort of align to practicing meditation, helping to support their practice in various ways. There's, in the forest tradition of Buddhist monks, there's 13 ascetic practices, which include eating one meal a day, as opposed to just eating. Monks and nuns can only eat between dawn and noon. So you can eat 2 or 3 times if you wanted to, but forest monks observe just eating one meal a day as an ascetic practice, also eating out of one bowl, as opposed to having your ice cream in a separate plate or bowl, or also going on alms round to obtain food, as opposed to people coming and bringing food. Can include practices like on arms round, not missing any house, receiving food from whoever wants to offer it. Not think, oh, don't go to their place to receive some food on arms round because their food's not so good, but going to whoever wants to offer food. Also things like not speaking, observing silence, or not lying down for 3 months, which I don't recommend. It's not so healthy, though. Some monastics do practice that. It's called the sitters practice, so that they would sleep sitting up. They might get a chiropractor after they finish that one. Also, practices involve wearing ragged robes that are made from cloth that have been collected from cast off cloth, collected and sewn together, which is the traditional Buddhist robe. That's why it's got various lines in it. Patched cloak, it's often called. Various pieces sewn together in a particular pattern. So there's various practices, the 13 austere practices that monastics might practice. But again, the reason I mention it is that we're coming up to this particular period, and whilst it's usually something which only monastics, monks and nuns would practice, or people that are staying in a monastery, I've made it something that is open for people to practice as a non-residential retreat. And many of you, or a number of you that are aware of this and have joined us for the Vassa retreat period. And so with that, we have then designated period. Okay, so 3 months, we're going to observe certain practices and have a Sunday meditation day monthly. So 4 meditation days, July, August, September, October, which is the ending of the retreat. And I usually choose a theme of practice for that 3-month period. So focusing on the theme and learning about the particular topic of Dharma practice, some readings, various practices to engage upon. And so it's not just practicing meditation, but also a bit of study and learning as well. And included in that might be other practice to observe. It might be, okay, well, I'm going to do some more exercises over that 3-month period, physical exercises. I'm going to be getting up earlier, or making sure that I go for some walks in nature, or do some reading, or watch less TV or videos or whatever. So things that help to encourage and nourish and nurture one's spiritual practice. And it can be such that 3 months, 12 weeks is a really good amount of time for breaking some old habits that may be not so healthy, and also for developing some healthy new habits. And it does take a good block of time to develop some healthy habits that then can continue on into the months beyond the retreat period, even making it sort of just your way of life generally, which could be like getting up and practicing meditation every day, even if it means, getting up extra early to get the meditation in before everything else. But certainly can be a really good thing to do, even to look forward to each year. Many of the people that have done the the Vassa retreat with us here. So they look forward to it each year to as a special time, and making that extra commitment to meditation practice. This year, the theme will be looking into developing and practicing the 10 ways to well-being. So that's my sort of translation of the Dasa Punya Kirya Watu, which is Dasa means 10. Punya is the word for merit, meritorious action. Kirya is behavior, ways of being, and Watu is practices or things that you uphold. So 10 things that you can practice and engage upon to generate wholesome karma that results in what we call merit. So the word punya meaning merit. And here sort of the appreciation is that just the law of cause and effect, so that putting in the right cause then brings about the right effect or result. And given that there's things that make life more healthy, wholesome, wonderful, worthwhile, sustainable, and wholesome things. And the Buddha made this designation of here's 10 things that if you do, they bring about a wholesome, healthy result. And in Buddhism and the Buddhist teachings, the Dharma, it's about, in a way, self-reliance, as opposed to thinking that some deity, some God is going to look after you and make it all nice, and all you have to do is believe. That'd be nice, but it doesn't often work like that. It's more like you put in the work, you put in the effort, and the wholesome, the karma results from that, so that you can then directly gain from the from the worth and the work that you've done, sort of that cause effect type of process. So in this, it's good to be aware of what can I do? How can I engage my life, myself, my being in a way that will be beneficial to myself and to others. And so these are 10 things that we'll be looking into over the course of the retreat period. Interestingly, many of them we are already practicing, including meditation. That's one of the 10. And but obviously, it's about being more aware of what they are. It's like this idea of merit. In English, we say we live according to our merits, and it's not just merit from luck. It's more like, we put in the work. You put in the work, and the results come. If you're you do good, live in a wholesome way, then results come from that. If you're living in an unskillful, unwholesome, unhealthy way, that will also bear different results. And we even have the idea of someone being down on their merits, sort of like bad luck, not good things happening for them, or that people say, "Oh, my merits have run out. Things are not working out for me. My merits have run out." Well, okay. In Buddhist practice, you develop merits. It's like if you've been living off your assets, say financial assets, unless you're putting in, you're going to run out of money. So it's like putting in the merit to enable the worth and the well-being of our life. And so being aware of what these 10 are helps us to sustain a meaningful, worthwhile, healthy life in many, many ways. And not just for ourselves, but it flows on to other people. In a way, it's also not doing these activities with attachment. I'm doing this to get this, but more like I do this because it's good. It's wholesome, it's healthy, it's good for the mind. And if there's some benefit that comes from it, fine. If I don't experience any benefit, fine. It's still good to do. Because sometimes the way in which the results of karma occurs, that they don't necessarily have to occur immediately. They might occur down the track. Might be in an hour or two, in a week, in a day or two, in a week or two, in a month or two, in a year or two, in a couple of decades, or it might be next lifetime. Why is someone having such good luck? What are they doing? Well, maybe they did a lot of good work in their previous life, and now it's coming to fruition in this life. So that who knows? You never know what we're sort of working with in terms of what's happened in the past. But if we're just putting in the good effort, the right effort, and doing wholesome things, even knowing that we're doing those good things, brings a sense of joy and a sense of uh, happiness in this life, even in the moment that we're being generous, being kind, doing the moral thing, doing the right thing, sense of feeling good about that. So the retreat, the Vassa retreat period starts the actual date. The actual date of it is, it's not the Sunday that we'll be starting, which is not this Sunday, but next Sunday, starting the 26th, which is, so it actually starts on the 29th, which is a Wednesday. It will be starting on the 26th, the Sunday. And if you do want to be part of that period, which you don't even need to attend the Sundays if you can't make it, but a sense of like, yes, I'm determining to observe the 3-month retreat, do more meditation, and get up earlier or whatever. But if you can make it to the Sunday sessions, that's really good. Let me know, because I'll be sending out about 60 pages of course notes for the 10 ways to well-being. And also during the Thursday nights through that period as well, we can also be discussing and reflecting upon what these 10 different aspects and elements and practices are as well. And people will be joining us online for that, people that can't get here, so that they'll be joining online. Also, we'll be recording the session so that if you can only come to one or two or three, whatever, of the sessions, they'll be recorded to be able to caught up with. So any thoughts or questions about the Vassa retreat period? It's interesting that in monastic life, Buddhist monks and nuns count their years of monastic life from how many Vassa retreats they've done. So if you were ordained, say it was November, so that you didn't get to do the retreat starting in July, then it's like you don't have a year yet until you've gone all the way through and done that Vassa retreat from July to October. Or you can ordain. I ordained in June, so I'd finished a Vassa retreat and I already had 1 year. So who was it that who of you did the Vassa retreat last year? So Tim and Clint and Meg and Scott. Yeah, yeah, that's good. Did you find it helpful?
I think it was a good, like you were saying before, it's a good chance to form that habit of regular meditation. Just getting that up that 10 or 20 minutes earlier every morning. And 3 months every day doesn't sound, it's not an impossible task.
Yeah, yeah.
It's good. I'm about due for a reset.
Good.
Like that slipped a bit.
Remind, yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, 3 months is a really good period, 12 weeks to engage some healthy habits. And it needs to be sustainable. Like people can go on an intense retreat for 10 days and that is, quite full on. But then coming out of the retreat, off the retreat into sort of regular life, there can be quite a difference back to sort of normality. But if it's over 3 months, then it needs to be something it's not too strict, not too stressful, that works in daily life because one's still going to work and dealing with family and so forth. So it's sort of a mindful way of being in regular, real life, just with an extra few little things that make it a bit more sort of special. Well, there's still time to register, and also for those people that maybe down the track go, oh well, actually, I'd like to start in August or September. That's fine as well. But if you do feel inclined, and even if you can't make the Sunday sessions, let us know so that we can send out by email the retreat notes, which we'll be then looking at as well on the Thursday nights. Very much opportunity. So thank you for coming out tonight in this cooler, windy, wet evening. I hope it's not raining going down to the car park. Be mindful of your step, and have a great evening and see you next time. Thank you. Good.